about to hear may shock you. The following information is never found in the marketing of high-ticket sales but will be learned through reality. If you'd rather not hear the truth, leave now or forever hold your peace.
Did I mention? I'm speaking from a different dimension. Did I mention?
It's episode 7 of the High Ticket Snail
I'm speaking from a different
podcast
dimension.
with me, straight from the gym, Charlie Free,
Planet Earth
and
is
my
in
co-host,
detention. Did I mention?
Gary Garland.
I'm speaking from a
Gary, how are
What's
you?
up, Charlie? I'm doing great. How are you, Charlie?
Doing pretty good, man. It's good to see you here on a Friday again.
And be here and prepared. God sent me to bless the internet with you, with some more wisdom, some more downloads, some entertainment, and what's happening on Friday, the 7th of August. But you'll see this on Monday, so
Yeah, 8/11. You'll be watching this. You know, Charlie, it's funny. This week, I think last week's episode hit a nerve with people more than it. I mean, it had the most comments. It was blowing up. I mean, we had a ton of positive feedback and a lot of growth from last week in that podcast. And I think, you know, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you haven't dropped a comment on here, you know, this week, like, drop the words how to get started. I think that's gonna be the key motto here this week, is really knowing how to get. So make sure you're subscribed, you got notifications on, because these podcasts, they come out every week, and like everybody who's listening to them is taking value from it. I know somebody told us this week alone, like they've already implemented things that have allowed them to flourish in their job search in the high ticket space from people that Charlie are actually teaching. So today we're going to dive into that and really expand on that and see how we can help other people, right, Charlie?
Do it! Just do it!
yeah, a little bit of help with Shy. I'm actually going to read that quote out because what you'll see on the screen today, these testimonials are raw extracts from transcripts. And there was something I sent to Gary the other day, and the pairing of me and Gary in the classes, I think is really helpful for people to see the extension in the pod. But basically, hey, I wanted to give you an update because everything we discussed on the call with you and Gary has really started showing up in how I'm approaching opportunities. And the other one was, I'm glad you got the podcast. I always have a reminder to watch that, and it feels like a continuation of the lessons with the stuff you talk about in a lot more detail. Love to see Gary there today as well with his cat. And then the other one was basically, I don't know where it is, and I want to fish it out, but essentially, one big thing that can happen, and I think the key theme of what we want to cover today is like some really good reasons why you could and maybe should enter into this industry. Because we're here to like highlight the reality of all of it, but there's a lot of elements of it that's absolutely fundamentally changing lives all the time. But one of the themes that came up this week is the nuance of what am I doing wrong? Like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Why aren't I landing opportunities? And without even exploring that, Gary, I mean, immediately it was like, why is it something you're doing wrong, for one? And then secondly, how is that helping you? And that's what we got a great impact with this week. But mindset.
Yeah, I mean, mindset is everything. But I think too, like with the people that we talked to this week, like I don't think necessarily they're doing anything wrong, like in some fashions, especially like the one of those comments, the person like over analyzing is another big issue, right? You still need to have the basics, right? The right loom, you know, the application filled out correctly, following instructions, Charlie, you know all about that one, right? And like those things are very important. But your mindset is critical too. Once you've went through the training and you're sitting in a class with Charlie and saying, hey, I'm ready to go find a job, and you're over analyzing every opportunity, like the job board has over 1,300 jobs on it. And if you're sitting there analyzing every website, every opportunity that's there, what do you think? What's going to happen, Charlie? They're not going to apply for anything, right? They're just going to be looking at websites all day.
Yeah, and there's a likelihood that you could be watching your back way too often before you even get there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crucial because the excitement I have for what I know is to come, and we will be announcing some more things soon. Maybe it's the back end of this month. But the number one thing, and again, there's so much in transcripts that setting classes, like it's so perfect. But essentially, it's like you could do everything right in the strategy. If you like textbook, you can do everything textbook. But it's going to be an internal thing. There's going to be a personal internal block that's forcing you to analyze, to try and break it down, to rationalize. Basically, if you're in your head, you're dead. If you think, you sink. It's like a simple formula. There's people out there. There's a guy I'm thinking of this week. I don't shout any names really, but there's a guy I'm thinking of this week, and been working with him for a couple of weeks. Right, martial artist. He's been through pain, suffering to become a martial artist. He's earned that skill. Just the way that he's framing everything in his mind is way overcomplicating the scenario of what it actually is. A lot of people separate things as well in their head, like they're doing anything different. You're doing everything the same. Everything's the same. If you show up to the gym, you get the training in, and you do the work, what you're doing is universally sticking to times, being punctual, showing up, doing the work. You're exercising, you're practicing, you're disciplined. All of that is the same. But you're just doing that in high ticket sales to apply for roles. So I guess the number one theme that you're going to see in this episode today is, as much as we can without going into so much depth, you're just going to get a ton of free game. Yeah, so get your pens. Yeah, don't try and sell me your pens. Yeah, shut the fuck up about selling me your pen, yeah?
Run.
I don't want your pen. I want your attention. We're going to go through some game today. So what do you reckon, Gary? What comes up first for your head?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing that comes up in my head, is humbleness, right? And that might be the biggest slap in the face to some people, because, you got to have some kind of ego, I think, to be in the sales game, right? Like, I really do. But you got to be humble. And I think when you're going for high ticket roles, I had to do this myself, and I think I talked about it in one of the episodes. But, when I came in originally, I was like, man, I got all the sales experience. I need to be a closer. Like, I can't make money doing anything but closing. I don't want to cold call. I don't want to do any shit, right? I just want to come in and close deals, make $1 billion and retire on a beach, right? Like, that is what most people's mentality is, right? And I think we saw that this week a little bit, and I personally believe that the best thing I did was take a step back, even though I was in a closing role at one point before I did this, is becoming a setter or having the skill to set. Because if you end up in a full cycle position or anything like that, like, dude, there is setters making 10 grand a month. If you're good, you're good. Like, it doesn't matter, right? There is a different grind, but I think, to start this off, I really believe that becoming a setter is super important to gain the skill of being a closer long term. I mean, I don't know what you think, Charlie, but I believe that's what people should be doing.
Yeah, I feel, to look at the core of what it is, it's I don't want to do this before, I just want to get here now. So apply that anywhere. If you want to have a great figure, if you want a beach bod, if you like, this is the interesting thing about people who take steroids. I know plenty of people take steroids, right? Like, shout out to the steroid crew, yeah? Big up. But the point is, you can't take steroids, yeah, and have a beach bod. Steroids pair with all the work. Steroids only work because you do the work. That's why it works. The clue is in the etymology, guys, yeah? Works. Oh, why isn't this working? Are you working? Oh, you're not. Yeah? You're probably not going to it's not going to work out then. If you are in any way, shape, or form scared, or you want to skip the work, God won't favor you. You can't do that. You can't speed up a natural process of evolution. And Gary mentioned something so important. Ego, identity, it's an important thing, yeah? If you don't have one, you're basically like, hey, man, everything's cool, man. We're all one, man. Equal, man. And you live on the street, you hold up a sign, and you got no fucking cash in your pocket, yeah? So you need to be able to balance that. So, you know when to be humble, you know when to use your identity. And this fucking kills people. It killed me at the start a little bit, but I didn't fuck around too much. Sometimes you're going to come into, I'd say people that are, if you're under 30, yeah, and no disrespect, shut your mouths, yeah? Shut your fucking mouths about anything, yeah? If you're under 40, still keep it stum, yeah? Over 40, I can understand why it's hard for you. You've done 40 years on earth, you're coming into this industry, and someone's asking you to basically deal with an inbox as a DM setter. I can understand how that can be quite triggering to your ego, even if you've got 20 years in these other sales fields. But look at the ultimate end goal, the pocket of money that you will find yourself in, the bucket that you need to put into the river of cash flow for each company or revenue, whatever revenue stream you're looking at, whatever company you collaborate with. Who cares what it looks like for you to get started? Only you at this stage. So if you can eliminate that, allow that to dissolve, and this is a free game. This is what I call the Trojan horse. If you send me an email right now at talk@highticketsnails.com, talk@highticketsnails.com, or just go to highticketsnails.com and get on the email list. I'll send you my PDF highlight breakdown, and you'll see in action the Trojan horse. And it basically means I'll go in as a set. If you want me to clean the toilets, I'll clean the fucking toilets, because I see growth with this team. These people are good. They're aligned with me. I like the culture. If I'm good, it won't take me long, because of the 6 to 12 weeks churn and burn cycle that's happening in high ticket sales all the time. 6 to 12 weeks. Yeah. If you can get in there as a DM set, no matter what it is, you will promote, and you're good. You will get promoted fast in that team, particularly if you work with someone like us. We'll guide you on how to do that, how to prepare for that, how to negotiate that, how to put that up front to a hiring manager. But you're not going to find those opportunities that you really want to secure straight away if you've just joined the industry. And you'll get stuck in your head. The exceptions count, yeah, but you'll get stuck in your head for far too long before you're like, I'm actually getting going. By the time you finish the end of the year, someone that actually just took action and executed, they are way, way further.
Well, Charlie, I'm commission only. They're not losing any money bringing me in as a closer, right? I'm just, if I don't close a lot of deals, they're not losing anything, right? That's completely bullshit. That company is paying for the leads, whether they're coming in through Facebook, they're coming in through their website. Cost of acquisition is still there, even if they're not paying you a salary. And I think that's a mindset too, as we go through this. And that's why a lot of companies love to promote their setters to closers, because they know they already have the basis once they've learned it. Obviously, if you've got 10 years of high ticket sales experience, you probably can get a closing job. You can be successful. You're going to be fine, right? But majority, since this is such a new industry, even though it's 6 years old, 7 years old, it's so new that a lot of people don't have this type of online sales experience, right? Because selling a car to somebody when they're face to face and they're looking at those shiny new leather seats, I need this, right? You don't have that. You don't have that ability in this space, right? There is obviously a need, things like that, but that's why, I always say, yeah, there is a cost. The guy that we were working for was spending $100,000 a month in ad spend, right? $20,000 per person a month in ad spend. So if we weren't selling, he was losing money hand over fist, even though he wasn't paying me a salary. It's the same thing with most of these guys out there, and if they are giving you some kind of base, then yeah, they're even losing more money. So it's a thing that's why I say you have to be humble in this space when you're taking roles. And if you need to start as a setter for a few months and make $3,000 to $4,000, like, it's going to help with your desperation. It's going to help with so many things, and it's going to build so much skill. You're going to be more successful long term for sure.
So I was thinking, as a sales rep, you're a solar panel for a company. And you're spot on the money, Gary, because a solar panel costs money. Installation costs money, right? So the business is the home in this case. And if you're a sales rep that doesn't perform, but you're taking up space and you're dealing with leads, that's like installing a solar panel upside down. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, like you're not capturing any sunlight. You're not capturing any energy. You're not pushing through any sales. So absolutely, yeah, commission-only sales, you might not get paid. It doesn't, quote, cost them anything. But what it does is actually cost them, right? As Gary's breaking it down. But the biggest thing is what everyone's really working towards is more focus. What every business, every single business owner, if you disagree with me, yeah, put it in the comments. Yeah, I'm open. If you disagree with me, put it in the comments. But universally, I'll put my fucking testicles on the line that every single business owner, every entrepreneur right now, everyone listening to this wants more time and wants more energy. Energy could be money, loads of different things, but time and energy. So hiring, we're not talking about companies that have been hiring for 40 years and they've got a lot of shit figured out. Even though recruitment still at that level is challenging. Finding talent is challenging. Yeah. It's not like that in high ticket sales. It is a nightmare to have to hire. All your energy goes into hiring. When I was hiring for that team, me and Gary referenced quite a lot on this. I was doing 17-hour days because I was focused on the hiring stuff before the 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time started. And because I'm in Europe, you know, I was up at 7 in the morning, I think 8. Can't remember what it was. I always got 6 hours sleep. Right, so I think it was before 8 a.m. And I'd be doing like 17 hours. But the first part of the morning was recruiting. The amount of other things that I could have done maybe as a sales manager is like ridiculous. There's so many other needle movers, but I'm limited for time and energy like any human being. Building out a recruitment funnel as well was taking a lot of time. People don't really want to hire. If the rare exception that they're actually scaling, not what everyone says we're scaling. Everyone's fucking scaling. Who isn't scaling? But are you scaling? You're probably not. You're probably, in all due respect, flailing. Like you're fucking spinning, churning around, and borderline failing at something. Something isn't in place. So for me, how you get around that and the solution is a true team that stands the test of time with you. You don't want to have to keep recruiting a lot of people. So if you can come to a team or a business and you know how to frame and present yourself as someone that's okay, even if on paper I don't have the experience in this field, but you've got the characteristics. You truly are an individual that follows through on your word. You truly aren't going to come to the hiring manager of the business with bullshit excuses. Yeah, this is like another bit of game, guys. Never, ever, ever share with anyone your problems if you're supposed to be doing a job. Yeah, different if you're getting coaching and guidance. If you're in a business, don't fucking share with them your problems, especially like low leverage problems. Figure them out. Don't be that guy. Always tell them you've just solved something. Always give a story, give an experience of you fixing a problem today. And that will set you apart like you would not fucking believe. You can get into this game in many ways. That's one of them.
You know, and if over the last 10 minutes you just listen to this and you're like, you know what, these two guys are full of bullshit, right? And you still don't believe me, then go put your money where your mouth is. If you think you're that good to come in with no sales experience and become a closer just from the training you got in some program, right? Even if we trained you, you think you could do that with no experience, then go take a setter role, set so many appointments that are basically lay down closes because you're so good at it that the closer will just close them in 5 minutes, that they have to promote you to a closer because you just proved your point. Like that's just unfortunately like not how it works, right? Like there is situations where people will be able to do that. I know people that can do that, but they're humble enough to say, okay, well, if this guy doesn't want to hire me as a closer today, but I know I can go in there and close deals, then I'll take his setter role. I'll prove that I can set appointments that are so qualified through my discovery that they buy, and they're buying that he has to promote me, and I still make a shitload of money as a setter while I'm proving it. It's just what you got to do. And I've had to do it myself a couple of times.
Yeah, and for the record, guys, right? There's your why. Why number one? Because, just generalizing, you can likely do it better than the individual that's already got the role. That's why number one. Why number two? Because it's there to be taken. Why number three? Because you're listening to this. Why the fuck not? Why number four? Well, quite honestly, keep waiting around and see what happens in 2, 3, 4 years. If you are looking for financial freedom, location freedom, but you don't have any skills you can transfer online, good luck, right? So that's why you want to get in. I don't know what I was on, but here's the final why I can think of at the top of my mind. The final why is whether you are like in the mindset of like, I don't think I could do sales, that's more of a reason to get into sales. Sales needs so many people that don't like the feeling of being sold to. You need to get educated on it. You need to learn what it isn't. Yeah, of course there's sleazy shit going out there. Of course, like there's lots of that going on. But sales is transformative for people. Sales is my experience in therapy, or like plus 20 years of it. If I was selling my therapy services, I would have way better results than I already did because people had already put fucking skin in the game. The amount of people that I worked with, whether they went on and like did a load of stuff, I don't know. But if they invest into something that's set up and they put skin in the game and they've got guidance for it, the chances of them getting success and results are way higher because you're putting energy in the game. Sales needs individuals that can sit in front of prospects that are like scared, a little bit nervous about making investments online. And you do not fit the bill of what a traditional sales rep is perceived to be. Like if it feels like a natural conversation and you're good at sales, you will give that individual, there's a human being on the other end of that phone call or on that Zoom call, whatever it looks like, that is going through a process that, if it's business owners, it's different. They're dealing with it all day. But consumers, they might never in their life have ever gone into this level of depth of their pain and their problems to actually understand how to fix and change it, or to take the courage and to have that step to go into something and you can be responsible for that. That's fucking empowering. That's like a lifeboat to me. Yeah, you're like a fucking lifeboat out there for people. And yes, there's an investment at the end of it. Have a healthier relationship with money. Yeah, I'm earning through service, and the more I earn, the more I can serve. I'm here to serve humanity, raise the standards of humanity. I have to earn as much as possible to do that. So if you've got that kind of, yeah, but it's always about money, like that's the first thing to work on. Internally understand that. And I think that was 5. That's 5 reasons why you should enter into high ticket sales.
You know, it's funny as you talk about that. You know, something that pops in my mind is that they say that teachers, people that can teach, are probably the most successful salespeople in the world because they can have empathy with people, they can explain things well, and they can make them feel comfortable, right? They're not salespeople. There's more teachers that go into real estate, high ticket sales, any of these sales, these, these pyramid marketing things, like, and they're successful because they have that ability to teach people, and I firmly believe that just because you don't have a sales background does not mean you can't be successful. Somebody that we're very close to, I haven't talked to him in a while, but you may have, but he was an engineer out of college, went to college, became an engineer, and he has that ability to teach his voice tone, all that stuff. He's been fairly successful in this space because without any experience. Now he's one of those rare few that was able to go straight into a closer role, but I think it's because of his ability to teach, and so that being said, like, use all your resources and don't think that high ticket sales isn't for you just because you don't have that car sales mentality, as I call it.
Yeah, and you also might be on the fence because you're like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. Anything you're not sure of, don't sit in uncertainty. Just don't sit in it. Find out. Yeah, fuck around and find out. There's a few times I wouldn't advise you do that. Don't be a dickhead. Get out of the car in a live drive-through safari with lions. Yeah? Well, maybe, don't do it, yeah? There's footage of people doing that. Yeah? Like, it's fucking stupid. But fuck around, find out. I mean, if to me it's the spirit of a child, right? The spirit of a child, the purity of a child, which is all of us. We're all children, grown up, right? So we are children. There's no separate thing. Is that inner spark? Fuck around, find out. Children do crazy shit. That teaches you more than anything. If you actually take a moment, listeners, audience, I'm not talking about education. I'm not talking about fucking, well, if you take Newton's law and you divide that by I'm not talking about fucking education or indoctrination. I'm talking about, like, where are you actually learning the most? I would say that there's a majority of people that will think, mostly in my childhood, there's so much that you're learning as you're growing up. You don't have to lose that. You can reconnect to that. Yeah, we spoke about it. We did an extra long class this week. And some of the students were seeing that, like, I was fucking arm wrestling. I was building an arm wrestling league.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how does that fucking help me? Massively. Right? I had to do announcing. Yeah. Hi, Ticket Snails podcast comes from, because I'm like, let's get ready to rip it. Like, I'm a fucking sport announcer. Yeah. So, like, that confidence, the bicep flex, that comes from arm wrestling. Being around, I'll tell you the first time I ever went to, because arm wrestling blew up when 2020 happened, and everyone was scared to touch each other and all this stuff. And I was like, fucking hell, where's a club? Like, where can I find a club? And when I eventually found a club, Gary, like, all respect to them, but they know it themselves, yeah? They're a bunch of dickheads. Like, they're so toxic down there. Like, they actually have I'm not going to mention it, but the word toxic is in the name of their podcast. Like, they kind of thrive off it. The intimidation of going into that is so much harder than, like, let me get on a call with someone and I'll find out more about what high ticket sales is about. Let me join something. Let me get on an email list. Let me follow a few people. Like, if you are in a level of uncertainty and you sit there, I mean, that's the characteristics universally I'm talking about. If you want to change your life, uncertainty, the antidote is lean into it. Fucking go into it. It's a bit like, I can't remember. I think it was an episode of The Simpsons or shit, but that, like, Chinese finger tie. Yeah, there's no amount of strength that pulls your fingers apart. One person's finger, the other person's finger. The strength can't pull it apart. You have to push it together to actually release the mechanism. You have to go into the fear if you want to liberate and change your life. So if you are scared, again, give me one good reason why in the comments or in the chat. And if you can't, start. Yeah, start whatever that looks like for you, but don't sit in uncertainty unless you want to die.
Yeah, I mean, we love getting questions from everybody. So, like, whether they send us to, through one of our classes, you email us at talk@highticketsales.com, you leave a comment, ask a question. We'll try to answer all those throughout our podcast. We may not directly answer it, but we may answer it like as we're in conversation, things like that. So, we're here to help. We want to help people who want to be in the space or they are on the borderline of being in the space to get in and do it correctly, have the proper training. There's going to be things that you have to learn in your specific role about your specific offer, whether it's B2B, B2C, whatever it is, being a setter, that you're going to have to learn. But overall, we're here to make sure people are successful. And, as you can see, like I've read a lot of these comments that are scrolling above Charlie's head right now. And a lot of these people are in these roles and they are being successful because they took our advice and they're putting that advice to work. They took those setter roles. They've grown into over time into being closers and they're making the money that they want to make, or, those types of things. I mean, Charlie's probably trained 2,000 or 3,000 people over the last few years. So, we're just here to really tell you how it is and show you the good, the bad, and the ugly. But in this specific scenario where we're talking right now, it's like, why wait? Why are you waiting to get in the space when it's growing so rapidly?
Yeah. On Tuesday, I said that. I said waiting is a human concept that doesn't exist.
Right.
I might do something new here. I might pull if we want to solve it live on the call, Gary, what do you reckon? There's something in my inbox right now I can see. I can do this anonymously, but I can read it out. Mm-hmm. It's like I can't say anything personal about this individual, but what I can say is it's a very extreme chronic case of mental block. Like this is beyond a certain level. This isn't a little bit of procrastination. This is intense. How do you feel, Gary, if I read that out? Do you want to go through it live?
Is it the one that's not read yet?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I think it would be great let's just solve this thing on. Obviously, we will respond to this person in private also, so they get the actual response in case they missed the podcast. But on the other side of that, I think it'll be good to really understand what he's struggling with or why he's struggling with it.
Mm-hmm. And we'll do this without any pre-context of this guy, which is important. But for the sake of the pod, I'll just read it out, right? So I'm gonna condense it. I've been trying to apply to jobs. I'm not succeeding. Either I don't know the verbiage that the employer is asking to include, or I am unable to get the application to submit. I spent 6 hours yesterday, and all I got from it was a loom and half an application. I'm also unclear on what jobs to apply for. I'm also unclear on what I qualify for. And there's not much information, it's very vague when I look at the job applications. So let's build off that. I'll go with you first, Gary. Anything top of mind that we can. What's your first reaction?
I think it's great for me to respond to this too. I don't know this person. I've never met them. I've never talked to them. Right, but they have a lot of self-doubt. They're over analyzing everything. Like to say all you got done in 6 hours with a loom and half of an application. Dude, applications take 3 minutes. So why did you only get half of it done? That's just my initial thought, right? There's no reason for that. If you don't have experience, the topic of saying, I don't know what I'm qualified for. Okay. You either have experience or you don't. And in this space, sometimes experience doesn't matter to an extent. They want to see sometimes they hire the person. More or less, they're going to hire people, not your experience. In true honesty, if you're a good person and they feel like you're coachable and they can train you, and if they need a setter and you're willing to do that, they'll do it. They'll teach you how to set properly, and you'll grow into that closer role. I would say that's where this guy needs to go. I don't know how old he is. I don't know his demographic, any of that stuff. I'm going to say he's probably over that 40 mark just based on how I'm reading it. Doesn't matter. But if he is, he's probably more closed-minded to the fact of being a setter. But I guarantee you that guy probably could set his ass off if he would just put his mind to it.
Here's some fundamentals of this individual's experience. You're right. You're spot on the money with over 40.
Yeah. Now you can just read through the lines there.
Yeah. But here's the good thing. It's not just over 40 or hey, and I've been some kind of gardener. This individual's been in sales. They've got a ton of sales achievements. So I'll go through this chronologically. I've been trying to apply to jobs. So first of all, immediately, there's no trying. Not to sound like Yoda, but it is that you don't try to apply to jobs. You don't like, and guys, just so you know, like true love is very direct and prompt. Yeah, true love, true kindness. This is actually someone, shout out to someone that like was really big on this when I came into the space. Like he had a great analogy of kindness and niceness. But to sum it up, you don't want to be nice. Nice actually translates into foolish. Kindness is saying to someone that you love, look, bro, you're going into a grave early. The way that you're living, the drugs, the booze, you don't look after yourself, you eat shit, you're getting all these health scares. Bro, I love you. But you got to cut this shit out, mate. Yeah, true love is fucking direct. So this is what I would say. You can't try to apply to roles. Yeah.
Ironically, I actually did watch this guy's Loom this morning. Ironically, that was terrible too. I'm not trying to be mean either. I would not. I know you put. I saw what your response was after it, but I personally wouldn't have sent that out. The way it was, the way that it was broke down, the angle, the camera, like there was so many things there that I felt like needed changed, and I was about ready to message him myself this morning, be like, bro. We need a Jesus moment here. Like that was my first. So now I know who it is because I watched it. Because I didn't go back and look at what it was, and as you were talking, it made more sense. But yes, he does. He does have a ton of experience. But like I just said 2 minutes ago, that experience means jack shit in this thing. Like, yeah, you've sold all this other stuff, but like even me, I had 10 years of sales experience when I came into it, and it was like learning a whole new thing. It was like becoming an engineer at this point. Like it's just completely different. And it's great. And I'm glad we can answer this guy and help him. We'll get him on the right track. But realistically, like we just need to, maybe this is a conversation I need to have with him, Charlie. I know he doesn't really know who I am, but we need to dumb this thing down. Stop overcomplicating things. It's just not worth it. Be simple, be direct. Tell him why you want to be hired, what you offer on the table. Like everything else doesn't matter.
There's so much context here because you're right. Like when you look at like my feedback basically is, hey, this is great. Good job. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well.
And the truth of it is there's a lot we can improve.
Yeah.
But sometimes the greatness is you did one. Let's not think about it. Let's keep applying because we need to keep the momentum rolling. Right. We need to keep this like train moving. So if I go to like the next point in his statement, right? I don't know the verbiage. Again, don't worry about it too much. Obviously, there's a little bit of language that you adjust to when you get in this space. Hey, do you know how to connect to humans? Don't overcomplicate it, right? The employer is asking to include, or just also for the reference. This is okay if you've gotten access to zero resources. Yeah, not the case. There is hundreds of hours. Like for this individual, there's less than 100 hours that I would send him just for the sake of it. But it's hundreds and hundreds of hours I could potentially send. So again, it's like, are you doing absolutely everything? Are you doing everything? Are you studying? Are you learning? Are you absorbing it? Or are you finding tiny little gaps around procrastination? And then you're like, well, I don't know what this is. And then again, like you get into a spiral of self-doubt. It's like, let's keep this train moving, Right, so 6 hours. All I accomplished was a loom. Super slow, but there's massive breakthrough, particularly with a call me and Ramveer went through with this individual. Big breakthrough there as well. That's like another thing. It's like, okay, this is the level you're at. You got a loom. It took you 6 hours. Great. Fucking no. But you did it, right? Half of an application. Let's work on that. From the tracker, I can actually see as well, this individual this week has done supposedly 3. Supposedly. Right? So that's not bad. He's doing some. He's not in the dead zone.
Mm-hmm. Better than most.
Yeah, like if you're in 0, my dog's done 0. Yeah, so you're the equivalent to my fucking dog. Shadows. I'm even get Shadow to do 1 just to fucking set the bar for people. Like, yeah, my dog. Yeah, he put out an application yesterday. It's just a video of him on Loom. Like, it doesn't matter how good it is. Like, if the principle is, I need to not fucking think about it. It's applied to a role that you're like, I don't care if I land this role, but just go through the application process.
Absolutely. And the other thing is, like, that statement about, I don't know what they're looking for. Well, how are you going to know what people are looking for if you're not applying? And he's like, well, I'm not getting a response. Well, like you said, he's only done 3 applications. Bro, that's like taking a needle and putting it in a haystack and try to find the needle in there. You're not going to find it because you don't have enough resources out there to figure that out. Like, fill out 30 or 40 applications, and if you don't get a response, then now we got to look at, is the loom make sense? Do you fit the profile of what these companies are looking for? And those types of things. There is different. Like, I had a sales analytic background, right? But I still landed 80% of the jobs I went for. Didn't fucking matter. Yeah, I did have some sales experience, but honestly, I didn't even talk about that most of the time. I just told them how I'm going to help them now. And I think that's where his gap specifically is. Like, and this is a real world problem that 90% of the people we talk to are having when they're trying to get into the space. They get the training, right? Sometimes the training's not good. Sometimes it's really good, right? We see it on both sides of the table there. But there is a wall that happens when they're applying. Like, if this guy was going for a car sales job, right? He's just going to go to dealerships and just apply to all of them, right? Like, he's going to blindly do that because it's all the same, right? He's got to treat these applications almost the same way. He doesn't need, in my opinion, at where he's at right now today, right? Like, I do believe in customized looms for certain jobs that you're applying for, right? Those top ones that you really want to work at, right? But if you're just trying to get reps in to try to get into the space and try to figure out where you should be and what you're doing, make a generalized loom that can talk to any business owner and send it out to fucking 100 companies. There's 1,300 jobs on that board. You can't tell me there ain't 100 of them you can apply to. Shit, you can apply to 300 of them. I don't care. Like, just like we talked about last week with the girl that she was a similar boat, overthinking things, overanalyzing stuff, but she was putting apps in and she was getting interviews out her ass. So that it just tells me the effort level or the scaredness is there in this individual.
Yeah, and like there's so much here. Like, there's so much here. Like, there's some hacks also. If you want to just use a general loom, you can duplicate it. It becomes new again. Becomes new again. You can change the title of it if you really want to do that. Don't be skimping out on, be like, it's a paid account. Get into the mindset of not, I can't afford that or it's paid. Be like, I need to earn so much money that this subscription to Loom is just not a problem. Right? Just things like that. But there's a few key points here to understand about the industry and the transition. Number 1, we're in an absolute fucking minefield. This isn't high ticket sales. High ticket sales is like one area of this. Yeah, it's one field of this massive online adoption of humanity. We're in one slice of it. That's it. High ticket sales is just a fucking tiny little industry. Yeah, it's exponentially growing. There's fucking there's a rapid amount of growth happening with it all the time, but you've got to see the whole picture. It's just online. So it ain't corporate, it ain't this level of establishment. There's no regulation. So when you come in, you're like, oh, this is vague. This is an analogy. If you decide, I want to just get a job, think about younger people, right? Maybe even older. You're like, I need to get a job. And a kitchen job comes up, right? And they're saying to you, right, you're a kitchen porter. That basically means cleaning, washing up. You're going to peel carrots. You're going to prep food. You're going to do basic things, and you're just going to build. The equivalent right now is like, but like, what am I washing up? What kitchen? What's their menu? You don't think like that. You just go, a kitchen porter, this is a role. As you come in as a sales professional, communicate with people, communicate with leads fast, efficiently. That's it. Doesn't matter where you go to an extent. There's so much of a game. And if you're in my lessons, you know this. There's so much other stuff that I talk about. But for the pod, these aren't jobs. Yeah, you got to get that out of your fucking head. These aren't jobs. These aren't pension plans. They aren't ensuring you and your family financial success. Or not even success, fucking security. These aren't jobs, right? It's easy to say that. And of course, in many different contexts, you could say that. But these are called offers or roles or opportunities for a reason. So it's not a job. There are roles, opportunities, offers that someone's offering you to do base characteristics. You're a kitchen porter. Oh yeah, but what? You already lost me. Bye. Yeah, there's 100 people queuing up waiting for this job. Who's the kid that's like, how many hours do you want me to work? 10. I'll work 12. Done. Get in there. Yeah, that kid. Oh, what did it say on his CV? Who gives a fuck what it says on his CV? No one gives a fuck. I wipe my ass with CVs, yeah? Most people in fucking sales are probably sniffing coke through CVs, yeah? Fuck CVs. Be in the mindset of like, show up, what have I got to do? Let me do this. Let me show up and be good, right? Because the roles are going to be the same. It's either going to be this, you're going to be fucking ringing people. Gary, it's Charlie, I've been sent by God. What's up, my friend? Yeah? Or it's going to be like DMs, or it's going to be a mixture of both. Or if you get into a closer position, it's like, well, someone's coming on my calendar. I send them a couple messages before, make sure they're communicated, and I show up and I run a process. Yeah? At the start, fucking get in. Just get in. Because you can't apply the same, like the mindset here. It's like, if it's vague, it's this. Yeah. How do you find out more information? Fucking get involved with the process. It's vague for a reason as well. There's a reason it's vague. There's loads of different reasons, but the main one is, it's like, we're not going to tell you exactly what this role looks like because it's so flexible and adaptable. That's the good thing about high ticket sales. Oh, I don't know if I could do 60 hours a week. Hey, I've got a counter offer. Obviously, I'm a mum. I'm a dad. I've got to do this stuff with my kids. I would absolutely match the KPIs in 20 hours a week. You open to that? Because what does it really matter at the end of the day if I'm doing KPI? I'll make sure that my 20 hours are way more efficient than people that you think require 60 hours. And if I'm not doing that in the first 2 weeks, fire me. Yeah, you can negotiate. It's so flexible. That's the beautiful thing about high ticket sales. It's not always what it says on the tin. Good. But if you fucking sit on the edge for too long, I mean, just in life, guys, this is really real for me. Yeah? Just in life, it's like a tsunami's coming. I'm like, guys, I'm not there to tell you. I'm like broadcasting on the screens in Times Square because I'm already like ahead, doing everything I can to find safety. And I'm broadcasting, guys, there is a tsunami coming. Get the fuck out of Dodge now. And if you don't, because you're like, it's vague. Well, your fuck is over for you. Fuck. Yeah. It's real shit, man.
Yeah, it is. And I think at this point, Charlie, I think we're at that point this week. We've really I think we've hit a lot of nerves with probably a lot of people that hopefully we just put our foot in their ass to get them to move down the road, to get moving to what their actual goals are. I don't care what your goal is. If your goal is to be a dog walker, then do it. Fucking just do it, you know? But but I think we've come to that point this week. You know, if this motivated you at all, drop the comment, send us an email. You know, join the mailing list, whatever it is you feel you need to do to really, you know, make sure this motivation keeps coming, and get ready for the question of the week, right? Because that's what's next.
Strap in, guys. Yeah, and just before we go into question of the week, highticketsnails.com, yes. But I'm being real with you. There's so much that high ticket sales can bring you to. You don't even need to do sales. That's the irony of it. Yeah. More and more people are doing CSM roles. So you're dealing with people that have already purchased. Yeah. If you're scared about all that stuff, like, you know, you're really good with people. Fucking hell, there's an abundance of opportunities. Don't wait around. Please. Please. Okay. All right. Ready? It's question of the week. I'm gonna ask Gary a question. He's gonna ask me a question. My question for Gary Garland this week is: can you name me the top 3? I'm going to say softwares or apps or things that people need, period, to succeed putting their focus towards anything. The top 3 things.
Motivational quote app, a Google Calendar.
So glad you said calendar.
Yeah, you can't live without a calendar. I mean, literally, my lifeline is a calendar most days. And some kind of music app. I think music, in some way, shape, or form, calms the soul.
Fucking hell, mate. You threw me there. I wasn't expecting you to say that. Yeah. That's a fucking banger. Just so I add that. Calendar. Yeah, calendar. A device. Yeah, guys, I'm telling you now, get it on fucking credit, get it on finance, get a good fucking laptop. Get a MacBook or some shit like that. Get a good device. Learn how to use a calendar. And if you can basically just find something that you do to-dos and you get your to-dos done in a week, you're good. But Gary, what you got for me, sir?
Yeah, it's funny because my question that I was thinking about asking you is it's a similar line. But Charlie, how much do you think AI is going to influence the high ticket space over the next 4 years?
It's going to impact sales the same way the iPod removed CDs. That's how crazy it's going to be. Here's why. Because a lot of what AI can do now is more like what we're talking about, yeah? AI doesn't sit there and go, oh, it's vague. It doesn't have that shit, yeah? It's just like problem solver, can't get in here, yeah. You can literally watch it if you use Claude Code or something like that. Watch it. So it's going to take over. But here's the key thing. If you take closed CRM, for example, now they're adopting the technology internally. Yeah. Open anything on your phone. And I know everyone's got WhatsApp. Yeah. WhatsApp has AI. Yeah. Everything has AI. So how it will change sales, if it's a low leverage, still an important thing, but it's normally at the front end of the sale. It's not where the money's transacted, but if it's at the front end, to get the numbers done, to get the dials done. I saw something the other day, Gary. I didn't send it to you. I sent it to Ranveer, but it looks so good. Like there was this visual of this thing, like boom, 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 like selling like low ticket products. And it was color code. I'll send it to you on Instagram, but it's fucking unbelievable. If you've got closing skills, like you're really there, you can like, I'm not going to talk about the depths of it, but like that's going to be harder to replace. But AI will literally replace 70% of what sales is doing right now for high ticket products. You don't need a sales rep for a low ticket product. So We're left with a high ticket product. If we're talking about high ticket sales as we understand it in this market, Guys, there's so many layers. Yeah, if there's 10 layers, I'm on layer 2. That's the reality. The 10th layer is, oh, I bought an island. Oh, I trade fucking 4 billion worth of fucking commodity. Yeah, blah, 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 in 6 months. Like, there is layers. We're at like one of the most fucking low layers that exists. So this level, AI is going to be completely unignorable. It's not a trend. This ain't a trend. It's a fucking takeover. But what won't get replaced is human skills, empathy, people wanting a voice and craving it. So there's going to be a hybrid. Look out for it.
Absolutely. And on that note, we're going to end it here. But if you made it this far in the podcast, go drop a comment of empathy. If you didn't, and I find out, it's going to make me shed a tear. So don't do that. Charlie, it was a great week. Let's go kill it.
Clip of the week, guys. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Send us a message. Leave that comment and take care. Goodbye.
Nah, I'm joking. I don't know. This is it's coming in a natural way. I don't, to be honest, I don't think about that. I know that I will be prepared. I will be ready, and I don't know. Doesn't matter. Nah, I'm joking. I don't know. This is it's coming in a natural way. I don't, to be honest, I don't think about that. I know that I will be prepared. I will be ready, and I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Hello, motherfucker.